Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Step by Step, where today we're going to be looking at a Decidueye mirror match. So, buckle up. Um, a lot of people hate on Decidueye Vileplume because they don't like it when they can't play their trainers, and I get that. I mean, trainer luck though has been around since what, Fossil or Here Comes Team Rocket set, something like that. I could be a little off on exactly what set it came out in. Just I literally did no preparation for that statement. Um, so people really hate it, and I get it, but I think it's kind of healthy for the format though, because I mean, at the moment, the format, aside from Decidueye Vileplume, is just gigantic basics, either accelerating up to 3-ish energies or attacking for less than 3 energies and just blowing up the field. And there's really not much thought behind that. I mean, you can just shaman, accelerate, or attach, and boom, that's it. And at that point, you just use your Lysanders and VS Seekers until someone's won the game. So that's no fun. There's just not a lot of strategy behind it. And though I get that Vileplume takes away a lot of the game by limiting trainers, I just feel like piloting Decidueye at least introduces an element of strategy and planning and forward thinking into the game that I feel like is currently missing on the hey, let's just steal prizes with Lysander and our big basics kind of meta that we're in right now. So, I say all that to say, I hope you enjoy this video. The video series that we're doing right now on Step by Step is all Decidueye videos. But of course, it'll change. Once everything becomes legal from Guardians Rising, we're going to be doing some cool stuff. We'll have one deck that's 5 different types, and it's immune to Decidueye, so you don't want to miss that. We'll have a couple other things. I might preview what I'm thinking about for Nationals / Intercontinentals, whatever you want to call it. So, okay, let's talk a little strategy here. I'm getting a Dartrix because I know in this matchup I want to go ahead and get my Decidueyes as quickly as possible. Don't really want to waste a lot of time on getting Vileplume out. I do want to get it out eventually, but not until I've got at least 2 Decidueye on the field. Or like 1 Decidueye and a Dartrix. That way I can support her into a Decidueye. Excuse me, sorry. So, this turn is going to end with nothing going on. Now, my opponent makes a pretty good play next turn. And by the way, I play all these games out and then record voiceover afterwards. So that's why I kind of talk about what my opponent's about to do next turn. Now, he plays Acrobike, so I'm wondering if he even plays Vileplume. I would say I don't think he does. If I remember correctly when I recorded this video, I don't think there's anything in his deck that makes me feel like he runs Decidueye, especially, I mean, Vileplume. Especially with the, yeah, I mean, with the Acrobike, yeah, I don't think he plays Vileplume in this deck. And I don't think I ever saw anything that made me feel like he played Vileplume. So... yeah, and it is this turn when he makes that good play. So, there it is. Yeah, and that was a huge play by him. Really good play. Every move that you make in this game is important, and it's really important to think about the ramifications of it. When I was attaching to my benched Dartrix, I honestly didn't even consider that he could just Lysander and knock it out. Didn't even cross my mind. But that's okay. That's why we play and record the videos and share them on Step by Step so we can learn. And honestly, I should just waited. I should just held the DCE and attached it once I became a Decidueye. But if I'm not mistaken, I may have played a supporter that would have made me have to discard my energy or something. I don't really remember. But, yeah, ideally you want to wait until you're evolved to attach the energy. Or, excuse me, to attach 2 energies. It's okay to attach 1 energy when you're not evolved yet, as long as it's the grass. If your opponent has something like a Lugia or a Mewtwo or whatever, you want to You want to not really be attaching energies until you're evolved. Oh, and of course here, I've mentioned it in previous videos, but I played the Shaman down before evolving my Vileplume because I didn't really want to be limited on what I draw from Shaman. I didn't want to not be able to play my trainer cards. So I know some people might rather have the extra card, but I've said it before, and I'm just not that kind of player. I want to be able to play the stuff that I draw, then evolve to Vileplume. And it leads to some cool plays. Like here, I can Ultra Ball away the Beedrill and the double colorless energy and get a Decidueye, and now have a third Decidueye in play before the Vileplume locks. And then I can go ahead and Hollow Hunt and draw out a supporter, another energy, all the things that I'll need for the rest of the game. This is an interesting play here, too. I feel like I should have knocked out the Rowlet, but what I'm doing is I'm setting it up so I can knock out the Lugia next turn, because I'm putting 20 on it. Next turn I'll be able to put 60 plus 90 from my attack, so that'll be 150. 150 plus 20 is 170. We get the knockout, although it does allow the Rowlet to survive. If we knock out the Rowlet, then next turn Lugia has nothing on it. It hits me for like 150 damage or whatever with its Deep Hurricane attack, because he's going to put a double colors on it next turn. Like I said, I record the videos ahead of time, so he's about to attach a double colorless. Even if he doesn't, like if he just attacks for 60, yeah, no, I wouldn't have factored that. I would have thought he was going to attach an energy, so yeah, I mean, I think it's the, I don't know. I'm watching the video again. I'm thinking I probably should have just gone for the Rowlet knockout, but let's just say, okay, so he'll hit me for 150 this turn. Let's say I knock out Rowlet last turn. He hits me for 150 this turn. Next turn, the most I can do is 150 back with my 3 Decidueye Feather Arrows plus Razor Leaf. Then he knocks out Decidueye, and then I knock out Lugia with another Feather Arrow drop. So maybe it would have been the better play. Honestly, I think it would have been the better play, because now I'm having to deal with a Decidueye where a Rowlet once was. So it's good. Like I said, it's good to watch these videos. I like recording myself because I find things like that I could have done a little differently. And now, of course, I am having to focus all my energy on the Lugia, and I can't focus anything on the Decidueye. So yeah, definitely should have just taken the Rowlet knockout when I had the opportunity. You guys should try recording yourselves too sometimes. It's really fun, and you do learn a lot about yourself and your playstyle and the decisions that you make in-game when you're going through and watching the recordings again. So even if y'all out there in YouTube's land ain't even watching this video, it's kind of cool for me to be able to watch myself play. So, okay, let's establish something here, too. I had 150 on me. Razor Leaf does 90. 150 plus 90 is 240. So there's no reason to put 20 damage on me with Feather Arrow here. We should be putting the 20 damage somewhere else. On Shaman, one of the Decidueyes, honestly, I mean, there's better places for that 20 damage to go, because his Decidueye sure isn't going to survive long enough for him to just drop 20 on mine and knock it out. So, yeah, definitely think we should have put that on the bench. I was trying to think, like, how many turns, like, let's say he can survive 2 turns, 2 more turns. 40 more damage is only 210 damage, so yeah, there's no way that would have worked. So we're ending away the stuff he just got with Hollow Hunt. Obviously, that's a play that I'm sure most of you make as often as you possibly can against Decidueye. If you can hold on to the end and end away the things they Hollow Hunt away, that can give you a huge advantage. But back to what I was saying, at this point, I mean, I really think that 20 should have gone elsewhere, because if he is able to pull the DCE again, he can just knock me out next turn. So, but now I'll have 260 damage on me instead of 240 after the Razor Leaf. So, We're also at this point putting 60 damage on the benched Shaman. That way we can knock it out next turn as well. So we're putting 90 on the active, 60 on the bench. It gives us a couple different options. Next turn, if we want to, we can just go ahead and do 20 to the active plus Razor Leaf to go ahead and get the knockout. That's 110. 110 plus 130 is 240. And then we can drop 20 and 20 on the bench Shaman. And who knows, maybe we'll get... I think I have one more DCE in the deck at this point, and that would let us knock out the Shaman if we were to rip it. Yeah, no, that doesn't make any sense. So, depending upon what I draw, I need to set myself up to go ahead and win the game. I'm going to play my Sycamore so I can go ahead and try to draw my double colorless energy. And I don't get it. So I'm going to put 20 damage on the bench Shaman and 20 damage on the active. The reason for this, if I can get my double colorless energy next turn, I can go ahead and Feather Arrow the Shaman for 40 damage in the knockout, and attach the double colorless energy and do 90 damage, and go ahead and win the game, because that'll put him at 240 on the active. So I'll win the game next turn if I draw my double colorless energy. If I don't draw my double colorless, I can just put 40 on the bench Shaman, knock it out, take 2 prizes, and hope that one of those 2 prizes is a card that can allow me to get my double colorless. He's going to go ahead and put 20 on me, and then attack with Shaman here in just a second after he Sycamores. It's a shame that he doesn't get more basic Pokemon, because... I mean, now, of course, regardless, the double colorless energy would win me the game. And it's a good move to go ahead and at least get more damage on my Decidueye. And, of course, I top deck the DCE. So, always want to say, well played. So we can go ahead and attach it to Decidueye and just attack and win the game. So, I may or may not have finished my thought about why I was putting damage where I was a couple turns back. But you can see how it plays out now and how it's, you have to be safe when you're making these plays and thinking ahead. So you can see it play out now for us to win the game. But it's a shame that he didn't get more bench, because, I mean, putting the Shaman back up is the right play. If he could have at least dropped, like, his Lugia or something, I think it still would have been a pretty interesting game. I would have taken 2 prizes here, had 2 prizes left. He would have had a freshly healed Lugia, and then I would be able to start attacking, but, I mean, he could hit me for 100. I could swing for 90 and drop 40, so that would be swinging for like 130. I mean, it'd be a pretty interesting game at this point if he had pulled a Lugia. Granted, I would only need 1 knockout and he would need 2. But yeah, it would have been a little bit more interesting. But I only had 2 cards in my deck, and I don't see an N in my hand. So if he could have gotten another Pokemon on that Sycamore, it could have been game-changing. So really good game, and I appreciate you watching. And like I said earlier, it's really fun to watch myself play too, so I can think about things that I should have done differently and different ways that this should have played out. So thanks for watching, and have fun.